How do I get myself on camera? Oh,
There you are.
okay.
We're recording now. It's weird how we sort of fade in. It's like a Star Trek transporter.
Yeah, or the beginning of a Hill Street Blues episode.
That's right.
Well, I kind of like that. It's that
Yeah,
sort of people crossing in front of the camera,
yeah.
almost inadvertently. Good
How are
day.
you?
Happy 19th of March. I'm doing well. In a
First day of
month.
spring today. Well, this evening. Spring
Is it that
arrives
early? I thought it was the
tonight.
21th. Oh, I didn't
No,
know that. Well,
it
that's a
arrived.
good sign.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't
So
seen a robin yet.
I no, she called me last night. Said, never mind. How are you feeling today? What is he saying?
Well,
What is he
I
saying?
think we should.
If you know what
I
I'm
think we
saying,
should.
send a card to what is he saying? Post office box. God.
No, he doesn't understand him, and he doesn't understand him.
Yeah.
That's what makes this work.
Um,
She called me last night. I did just.
I don't know what I'm saying.
You little scamp.
Yeah.
Um,
Here we are again after almost 2 years. We were talking
yeah.
about that a while back, and off we go. So,
Well, I think if people just think we haven't been doing anything for 2 years, let's disabuse them of that. We haven't been just sitting around drinking and watching pornography or old episodes of Mary Tyler Moore. We've been rehearsing assiduously
that's
because
right.
the product is exceptional. We want to make
Deciduously.
it great.
Yes, yes.
I'm living proof every day that even God has a bad day.
Well, we went through a long period of worrying about our own little shit, and all of a sudden, overnight, we're worrying about everybody else's shit.
Else's shit, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
which is probably, it sounds strange, but probably the healthier thing to do.
Yes.
And we all have crap we've got to deal with, family, friends, whatever. But you're right, this seems to be bringing a community together. I noticed a number of people on Facebook are starting their own quartier neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
Facebook pages to help people out with information. Do you need groceries, good stuff, helping hand? I actually read on Facebook, Pierre Damour put up a very good Facebook note. His headline was épouvantable, which means shameful, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. There is at least one report, somebody going around saying they are a nurse trying to sell COVID-19 kits. Complete scam.
They're
So
coming out of the
watch out
woodwork.
for that, folks.
Watch out for that. Watch out for apps on your phone that claim to track this and take care of that. A lot of them are ransomware. Um, all of the
What does
rumors.
ransomware do? Screw up your computer once you
Well,
get into it?
ransomware essentially, in a nutshell, it takes control of your computer, your PC, or sometimes in your phone. And unless you pay up a ransom, then they erase all of the data on your device. So that's what ransomware is all about.
And they can
City.
easily do that, right?
Oh, it's that is a virus of its own because I think the city of Chateauguay went through this or is still going through this now. They were set upon by pirates who jammed the entire city. And excuse me if I'm not correct about Chateauguay, but it was once a town in Quebec recently where they jammed the entire system the city depends on to deliver services. And I don't know if they've paid a ransom or not, but that's what they were faced with for quite some time.
Is there a way of fighting back without doing that? I mean, if it sounds like a city government, municipal government, did they not have more tools in the app? I guess not.
No, no. Many of these systems, and again, we could go on about this for quite some time. Many of these systems are old, haven't been updated, and the pirates are more and more sophisticated all the time. So, and there's a lot of misinformation coming through about this virus situation. Facebook apparently is setting up a system whereby that news feed you see on the right-hand side of your screen when
Yes.
you log in is going to be coronavirus certified, verified information that's going to be showing up there now, as opposed to random crap that appears that people just post left and right.
That's comforting, but Facebook obviously is inundated with that kind of stuff.
Yep. And they can't
How do they triage?
That's exactly the problem they're having because they can't keep all of their staff on site. So the few people who are doing the vetting are overworked, so they can't vet everything. So there's a plethora of crap showing up on all of these social media channels like Facebook. So
So
please
beware, right?
beware, yeah, and be safe. And
Yeah. And
and
thank you to Pierre for putting that up about
yeah,
the fake nurse in Pierrefonds. I should mention that we could talk a bit about what you can do when you're stuck indoors because you're a great streamer. I don't think you watch network television at all, and you always have good suggestions for things folks can watch on their
I've been
Netflix or
I've
whatever.
been on a people trip of late. And I'm
You've been
not
to the Holy See?
I've been to the Holy See in my mind and on my screen. I'm not a religious person. I was raised like a good Catholic boy, but I'm not religious at all. But I took in, let me just do the screen sharing here and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. There we go.
It's
Oh,
interesting how this
it's a
came to you.
picture of
There I
you.
am.
There we
Oh,
go.
there's your tush.
There we
The
go.
two popes.
Yes.
Highly recommended.
Love this movie. Absolutely love it. Anthony Hopkins and Jonathan Pryce are just amazing. And
Spectacular.
it's not a shoot 'em up car chase movie. It's two old guys kind of talking to each other. And in my opinion, I haven't seen everything Hopkins has done, but this is my favorite Anthony Hopkins role of all time.
Well, that's high
Uh,
praise because, of
yeah,
course, he's had a wonderfully highly
he's
lauded career,
terrific.
and he's a great actor. And
Yeah.
Price is sans pareil himself, if
Oh,
you can say that.
outstanding. Price is just amazing in this too. So highly recommended. And I took from I don't know why, but I went on to watch The Young Pope after that. This is not after
Yeah, I
that.
haven't seen that because I don't get HBO or Crave, but I hear Jude
Actually,
Law's pretty darn. Diane Keaton's in it.
yeah, I'll get back to that in a sec. I'm just doing this in the order in which I watch things because I saw John Malkovich with The New Pope, which is the second installment of this trilogy that this Italian producer named Paolo Sorrentino put together. And I watched The New
Speaking of
Pope.
good actors, Malkovich is great.
Oh, I love Malkovich. And you see Jude Law in the background because this is the second installment, and I watched it backwards, but I went back to watch the original. I think this goes back to 2016 with Jude Law, Diane Keaton, and a number of other people whom you'll recognize to show up in there. It is profane and profound at once. And some of the writing in this series is even translated from the Italian is outstanding. And Jude Law is terrific in this too. So you don't have to
Really
be
good. I'm glad to
religious.
hear that.
Yep. You don't have to be a religious person or a Catholic or a lapsed Catholic to enjoy it. You'll find it. I can't even begin to describe some of the production twists and turns and the music choices and the way it's shot, the way it's edited. It's just amazing. So I recommend it highly. So start with The Young Pope. This is on HBO. The New Pope is the second one that just ended now in its streaming series, I think a week or two ago. And apparently,
Unsurprisingly, Malkovich looks frightening.
he's quite something. He's something to behold in the series too, and you'll see him delivering homilies and speeches from the balcony there, overlooking St. Peter's Square, and it's quite something. And the way that
Shot
they
on site.
shot on site, but then again, a lot of it is CGI, but it's very, very well done. And the interiors are shot. I don't know if they shot in the Vatican or whatever chapels that may be related to the Holy See, but it's just awe-inspiring. It's just spectacular. So it's something to watch. Another one too, Avenue 5 with our buddy
Oh,
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie.
This is bizarre, and this may be disturbing to some, and I'm not being flip because it has to do with a cruise ship, a space cruise ship, which is in space, of course, and things begin to go terribly wrong after a while, and the shit hits the fan, and if you watch it, you'll find out that phrase means something quite literal. Um, And Hugh Laurie is the captain, and I won't give anything away. He is the captain of this ship, and he plays between his American accent and his British accent, and that is part of the narrative that makes things very funny too. So this is something I recommend. Again, if you'd rather get entirely away from any thoughts related to what we're experiencing these days, this may not be for you. But if you're into dark humor, and it's Dominic Iannucci who produces this. He did Veep and other similar shows, and it's very, very Altman-esque.
I was just going to use that. It sounds as if it's Love Boat meets Robert Altman.
It's and you have to pay attention because there's always somebody speaking in the background or someone walking by, and the text, the writing, the delivery of the lines is very rapid too. So you have to keep your eye on what's going on and keep your ear on what's going on as well. But it's a whole lot of fun. I don't know.
It sounds as if several things are going on at once. In the one shot.
Absolutely. So they have renewed for a second series, but of course things are delayed now. I don't know when we'll see the second series or the second year or the second streaming series of this, but that's supposed to be coming out in the next year or two. So recommended.
Like
Tom Papa.
Anything else? I've got a couple I can recommend as well.
Yeah, I'm going to finish up quickly. Tom Papa, if you're on Netflix, is something that is fun. He does stand up. He's from New Jersey. He's been to Just for Laughs a few times, I believe. And he works, quote unquote, fairly clean, very funny, very dry. And he shows up with his suit and tie there with the microphone. And that's a whole lot of fun. If you want an hour to just sort of relax and play into something. Again, I'm not a big fan of the scatological approach to what people seem to think is funny these days. He's not of that vein. He's more Seinfeld-esque, perhaps.
Sounds a bit like Jim Gaffigan. Talk about his kids?
Yes, quite a bit. So recommended. And I've got a food item for you here.
Okay, staying on these for a sec.
Yep.
The Tom Papa stuff. You say you've never been of the scatological. I'm Irish Catholic, so I've always. But it depends on how clever it is. There is a line even for me. So I don't know if I've gone down several rungs or just one, but I think people know what I'm talking about. You can get away with it the way they did in, say, Blackadder or something like that.
I'm talking about people who think that simply saying motherfucker several times in a row
I'm right there with
is supposed to shock you and make you giggle. Well, no. So it's not that I favor necessarily comedians who would eschew that. But if you're going to be funny and you can come up with bits that will make people laugh without having to resort to that kind of business, then you're in my books you're doing very well. So this is
an
example
art in itself these days. Yes, excellent. Can I just mention a couple of things before we go to food?
Please go ahead.
Have you seen MI5 or Spooks?
I have not.
Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. It started in 2002, a BBC production. It was known as MI5, which of course is the internal British spy network, as opposed to MI6, which is external. And you'll recognize all the actors because they've been on every series since. As I say, 2002 is getting to be a long time ago. One of the actresses becomes the young Queen Elizabeth in The Crown. And it was also called Spooks, which is, of course, a British term for spies. Some of MI5 and Spooks are actually available on Netflix as well. I get it on BritBox. Another one is Line of Duty, which is a British series. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
They are wonderful. They are on BritBox, but now they are on Netflix as well. This is about cops, not in London, but a large English city, probably Manchester, but a lot of it was shot in Belfast. Actually, it is a co-production, BBC and Irish television. It is wonderful. It can be dark, but boy, it's engaging. So I would highly recommend Line of Duty, and that's my TV stuff. I thought I'd throw that in along with the stuff you have.
Okay, let me just finish up two little things. We were talking about that chair of mine. yesterday. You were laughing at my chair. Okay, go
Well, you
ahead.
don't know how to sit on it.
And this is it here. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little
Okay.
troubling looking.
It actually, it does look a little, it looks like it's something that trendy and all of that, but it has proven to be very, very useful to me. And this is the model that I bought. I'm not going to do necessarily a pitch for this, but they tend to be either very inexpensive or very expensive. There's a Scandinavian model that sells for, I think, $800 or something. This is
Oh.
about $110, I think, on Amazon.
I
Again,
hope those wheels at the bottom lock.
yes, you can see the little locking mechanism down at the bottom here. I don't lock them. I got another set of casters that I put on there. But I have gotten rid of my conventional chair, and I use this every day now, and it forces me to sit up straight to keep the core straight up. And gluteus minimus is what I have. I've got an ass like this guy here.
You and I, yeah,
This,
you and
this
me.
guy's ass just disappears, as does mine when he sits. And this is what I have here. So this is how you're supposed to be seated more or less on this chair, perched as high as you can with your bum up at the top and then your knees. It takes some getting used to. But if you have back problems, and if you're like me and you find yourself in discomfort from sitting for long periods of time, which you should not do, mind you, this is something that you might want to look into, because I'm very, very pleased, and I'm not going back to a regular office chair from now on for sure.
Well, and you know, as well as I, that doctors, masseurs and masseuses and yoga experts and exercise experts have been telling us for years, the worst thing you can do is sit.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, all of a sudden the sedentary thing, but as you've said too, it can cause bad back problems. I have a sciatic problem.
Oh, I've been through periods where I could not get out of bed without having to crawl simply. And again, it's not because I had strained my back. It's because I'd spent so much time sitting, and I have I have terrible posture to begin with, and I have that sort of that electric lamp craning kind of a thing going on here all the time.
Naturally done. We all do it. Yeah. And you and I are tall, skinny guys, so we're prone to that.
But this chair forces you essentially, if you really pay attention, to sit up straight, and then you're actually a little bit higher over your keyboard, and it's very good. So I recommend it. Let me just make sure that I can get the name out for you here so you know what we're looking at.
Did you buy the $800 model?
No.
Oh,
This is what is it? The Dragon. Of course, it's Chinese made. DRAGONN. And never mind the price.
Of course, it's available on Prime.
That's right. Never mind the price you're seeing here. This is incorrect. Amazon has a lot of these, so you'll find this for under $130 or so.
But I mean, are the $130 models fairly well made? I mean, obviously,
relatively speaking, yeah, this one is fairly solid. Obviously, the more you pay, the better it is. But in this case, I'm quite pleased with the mileage I've had out of this one over the last 3 months, and the foam is not as firm as I would like. And again, with no ass, you tend to bottom out fairly quickly,
so to speak. Yes.
Yeah. So that forces you to get off your butt even more frequently, which is a good thing. Every 20 minutes, you should get up, get some air, walk around. So.
Well, there you Churchill, go. For everything. I mean, he never exercised. He smoked 25 cigars a day and drank champagne at 10 o'clock in the morning. You'd kind of like that.
I would.
But he did a lot of work standing up.
I will let you close with an explanation as to why we're staring at a set from Cheers here behind you.
Oh, gee, I'm sorry. I never did clean up after your last visit.
Oh.
But you see, you and I don't have drinking problems.
No, we do it very well.
Yeah, we've got it down pat. That's
all right.
Well, at bientôt, are we gonna do this more often? Then
we're going to do this more frequently, and
which is frightening.
We're going to mess up everybody's life as much as we can.
Well, I'm going to go out and go for a walk and not touch people.
Okay, then you enjoy it. We will speak again in a day or two.
À bientôt.